Hey guys, welcome back to Explainer X. Today, I am going to recap a 1980 romance drama movie, named The Blue Lagoon. So, let's begin. The movie starts with a family going on a trip to Europe, in which 9-year-old Richard and 7-year-old Emmeline, and both of them are cousins. Fellow Richard's father is also there, and there was also a cook who used to cook on that ship. There were other people on this ship. Then suddenly a fire breaks out on the ship, due to which Patty, who is a cook, takes the children and sits in a small boat. Other people were also saved, but due to the burning of the ship, smoke spread everywhere. That's why they couldn't see each other, and Patty gets separated from them. Now Patty was alone in this Pacific Ocean, and there were 2 small children with her. Then one morning when Emmeline's eyes opened, so she sees an island, and she immediately shows Patty and Richard the place. Patty gets very happy seeing this, and turns the boat towards the island, and all these 3 reach the island, where there were also many birds and there was fresh water to drink, and there was no shortage of food, due to which these 3 become very happy. Now at least he could live here, until they get some help. That's when they get a can of rum, in which rum was filled. That's when Richard finds a human skull there. It means someone had come here before. Seeing all this, Patty does not like anything and runs away with the children. And he also forbids Patty Emmeline to eat red berry, because red berry was poisonous and eating it kills a person. After this, Patty teaches Richard fishing, building a house, and many such things. One night while the children were sleeping, Patty was drinking rum. Then he hears some sound, which was coming from the other side of the island. So the next morning Patty goes to see the place, where he sees flesh and blood on the stone. Seeing this, he immediately runs away from there, and at night warns the children to never go to another site on the island. Now there was something on that island that Patty was afraid of. One night, Patty drinks a lot. He dances with the children for a while, and then he falls asleep there, seeing whom the children also go to sleep. But at night when Patty wakes up, after this he goes to the nearby island. In the morning when Richard and Emmeline can't find the Patty, they start looking for the Patty, and they see Patty. After this they both take the boat and reach him where he sees. The children are very scared to see that the Patty is dead, and they both leave him there and go away. Now after Patty left, those children were very lonely. That night, Emmeline tells Richard to take him to another island. So the next morning they leave that island and take some of their belongings and go to the nearby island, where he follows the things taught by Patty. He builds a house for himself, and that's how he starts spending his time, and many years pass by like this. Now he had grown up a lot. They had learned to live here and they were both happy. Now because they had grown up, that's why they were getting attracted towards each other. Due to physical changes in their bodies, they started noticing each other unknowingly, but they did not understand this feeling, and neither is there anyone who can explain this feeling to them. This feeling was completely new and stressful for them. One day when Emmeline is in the water, she sees blood in the water, which she gets scared seeing, and she immediately calls Richard, but later she sees that the blood was coming from her body itself. Actually, this was his first period. When Richard comes there, so she sees blood in the water and he asks Emmeline what happened. Emmeline tells Richard to leave. Later Richard asks Emmeline why she was bleeding, then Emmeline says that I don't know. Richard thinks that Emmeline was hurt so wanted to see her injury, but now she doesn't tell him anything. Richard gets angry with this and leaves from there. He says that you hide many things from me. As time passes, both of them start getting attracted towards each other. Emmeline used to keep looking at Richard's body and Richard also keeps looking at her. One day Emmeline hears the sound of drums playing somewhere far away. Then Emmeline goes there to see them, and Richard was fishing here. When Emmeline sees it, she learns that the sound is coming from another island they had left. Then Emmeline goes further, where she sees the idol. When she goes to her, she sees blood there. Seeing this, Emmeline runs away in fear and goes to Richard and tells him all these things. Hearing this, Richard scolded her because since childhood, they have been following both the rules that they will never go to the other side of both the islands, but today Emmeline broke this rule. Then at night when Emmeline was sleeping, then she has a dream in which she sees that Richard is drowning and that he has died. Upon seeing this, Emmeline wakes up and becomes very frightened and hugs Richard. She says, "Promise me that you will never leave me." Richard says that I promise. After this, Emmeline also kisses Richard, but where Richard is unable to control his feeling and coerces Emmeline, due to which Emmeline gets angry with him and leaves from there. It was night now and Emmeline was sleeping. Then Richard approaches Emmeline and starts touching him, but then Emmeline wakes up and scolds him and drives him away. Richard was getting attracted towards Emmeline, but Emmeline was not understanding his feeling. When it is morning, Richard gets angry and starts leaving from there. Emmeline asks him, "Where are you going?" But Richard doesn't even talk to him, so Emmeline goes after him to convince him, where she sees that Richard is doing something. But Emmeline doesn't understand what he's doing. She calls out to him. Because of this, Richard becomes even more angry. One day Richard sees a ship in the sea and he immediately runs towards home because there he had gathered wood to give a signal, by burning which he could give a signal. That ship was also seen by Emmeline, but she did not intentionally burn the wood. When Richard asks for the reason, Emmeline doesn't answer him properly. Actually, Emmeline liked this place very much, and she wanted to stay here now, but Richard didn't want to stay here at all. After so many years, he saw a ship and Emmeline let it go. After this, Richard makes a raft for himself and leaves for that island alone with some food and water items. But after going a little far from the beach, his raft breaks down and he comes back where Emmeline makes fun of him. Also, she says, "That I know what you were doing that day." Richard says this is wrong. "If you look at me silently." Then Emmeline says that you also look at me silently when I am without clothes. Richard makes fun of Emmeline and starts teasing her by placing a coconut on his chest. Then Emmeline angrily hits a coconut on her head. In return, Richard gives Emmeline a slap, and Richard goes home and throws all of Emmeline's belongings out of the house. He says that I have built this house, and you can't stay here. Because of this, Emmeline has to live in a small cave and it was raining from above. Due to this quarrel, both of them got separated and were not even talking to each other. Meanwhile, Emmeline goes to place flowers on the statue. Then her foot is placed on a poisonous fish which makes her very ill. Richard had not seen Emmeline for several days now, so he goes to the cave where Emmeline used to live, where he sees Emmeline's condition and asks her, "What happened to you?" Then Emmeline says that my foot was placed on a fish which looked exactly like a stone. Seeing such condition of Emmeline, even Richard was now afraid. Emmeline tells Richard to take him to God. She used to call that idol as God. So Richard goes to the statue with Emmeline, where Richard prays to God that Emmeline gets well soon. Then after resting for a while, Emmeline recovers. Now both of them started talking to each other. They started spending time back with each other, and both of them were now living together a little more. One day both of them were sitting together and eating fruits. Then both of them come close and kiss each other, and after that both of them are also intimate. For the first time he had understood that feeling and felt it. Now both of them were very happy and used to romance many times a day. Many days pass like this. One day Richard sees that Emmeline's health is not good, due to which Emmeline was also not able to give time to Richard. Then Richard tells him that, "Don't you love me anymore? Don't you like me now?" Then Emmeline says that it is not like that. "I'm sick, I feel like I have something in my stomach." Richard places a hand on Emmeline's stomach, so he feels some movement, and he asks Emmeline, "How did you move your stomach like this?" Emmeline tells Richard that, "I did not move my stomach, it's happening by itself." Actually, Emmeline was pregnant, but both of them were unaware of this. One evening when Richard hears some sound, and he immediately runs away and reaches near that voice, where he sees that there was someone else on this island other than those two. In fact, they were the permanent tribals of Ye, who used to come here every time to complete their rituals. And this time also he offers the sacrifice of his enemy to God. Seeing this, Richard immediately runs away in fear. When he was coming back, he could hear Emmeline scream. Actually, Emmeline was giving birth to her child under a bed. She gives birth to a child with the help of Richard, which both of them are happy to see, and he brings her to his house. But the child was crying. Richard says it's hungry. He tries to feed her water and food, but such a small child could not eat and drink all this. Now both of them did not understand what to do. Then Emmeline takes him in her lap and starts feeding her, and that kid calms down. He was a boy and they both named that child as Patty in memory of Patty. Richard then scolds Emmeline and then warns her to go to another site on the island. One day Richard takes a raft to the old island where Patty's skeleton was lying. He understands the structure of the body by looking at that skeleton. Both of them were very happy because of the child. He always loved her. A few months pass like this and that child had grown up. One day when all three were playing on the beach, only then does Richard's father reach that island. He sees Richard, but he thinks that he is a permanent resident of this place, so he leaves from there. Richard and Emmeline also saw that boat, but he no longer wanted to go to his home from this place. He was very happy here. One day they reach the old island where they came with the Patty for the first time. Going there, he remembers his past by looking at the old things. Meanwhile, that child breaks the red berry and puts it in the raft, which neither of them knew. On his way back, the kid accidentally drops the rudder of the raft into the water. So Emmeline tries to take it, but she is not reaching it, so she calls Richard, who was left behind, to take some fruit. He comes and jumps into the water, and then Emmeline sees that shark is coming after him. Now, in an attempt to save him, Emmeline kills the shark by throwing his other rudder. She has saved Richard, but now without a rudder, his raft was going away from that island. And after some time he goes to the middle of the ocean. They had neither food nor water. They could quell hunger and thirst, but they had a small child with them and they were worried about it. Then 2 days pass like this. Due to hunger, the child eats berry, whom Emmeline sees, but now it is of no use. Then Richard picks up the berry and gives half to Emmeline and half to himself. He decides that he too will give his life along with that child. But he was still alive. He was just sleeping because he had eaten very few berries. But these people eat berries and go to sleep. Then Richard's father sees his raft and he immediately approaches that raft, where a man tells them that they are alive, just asleep, and here the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed the video, so click any video of 3 of them and enjoy next. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel and please like the video and tell us in the comment how you like the video. I see you soon.